Programmable virtual reality. We live in a digital metaverse, which sounds like it's gonna come true in the following years. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. We got another Neil Breen special for you today. I'm your host, Lugia, and with me are.
I am Patrick.
I'm drum arts. Red.
Alright, but before we get into the main course, we have a lot of news to talk about. So,
Yes, we do.
yeah, Red, why don't you start
So
us off?
there is a lot of, I guess, just general drama regarding a lot of film stuff. David Zaslav and strikes and shit. So yeah, so basically they announced like a week ago or something that the Wile E. Coyote Acme movie was going to be written off similar to the Batman film. Warner Brothers was going to be doing this. But at and everyone was disappointed with that. A lot of people were saying it was good, just like the Batgirl thing. Yeah, so a congressperson thinks that they might open an investigation on Warner Brothers because they think that this is like anti-competitive business practice. They think they're kind of taking advantage of the tax code, and I guess because of that, and because James Gunn threatened to quit, Warner Brothers now allowed the filmmakers to shop the film to other studios. I don't know if the legal investigation might actually still be happening, but yeah.
This is kind of funny
Well,
because this past semester for one of my classes, for my final paper, I wrote about Warner Brothers and how they were impacted by the pandemic. And in my research, I found the last 5 years they've been going through so much shit with management changes and stuff. It's
yeah.
just a big mess, and it just keeps getting worse. Like, I feel bad for Warner Brothers.
I feel, I guess, bad for the company as a whole, but I feel like David Zaslav is kind of reaping what he's sowing. But yeah, so the U.S. Department of Justice and the FTC might be investigating Warner Brothers for predatory practices. And Wile E. Coyote movie is, I guess, uncanceled because it's going to be distributed by another studio. We don't know which one yet. A few filmmakers have reportedly canceled deals with Warner Brothers as a result of their practices here. So yeah, looks like things aren't doing too well for Warner Brothers. David Zaslav also apparently got in trouble for making a comment where he said that the writers were right, but they were overpaid. And he was like, "Yeah, we're overpaying them." He was like, saying a bunch of like implications that.
Actually, I have a fun fact about the Wile E. Coyote movie. It was supposed to come out the day Barbie came out, but they switched it up. Imagine, what would that be? Would that be Acmeheimer? Coyotenheimer? What would that be?
Something of the
I think
sort alongside Pikmin 4.
people wouldn't make Barbie jokes. They'd make jokes about Coyote dropping
Well,
the nuclear
yeah,
bomb.
no shit they wouldn't make Barbie jokes because Barbie wouldn't have come out that day.
Oh yeah, well they would have made jokes about about Wile E. Coyote dropping
Not
the nuclear bomb.
Acmeheimer.
Anyway,
Acme.
speaking.
No, for your sake, Lou, get Acmenheimer.
There you
Happy?
go.
Okay, there we go. All right.
While we're talking about kind of shitty practices done by companies, Mappa, the anime studio responsible for hits like Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan and stuff like that, is currently in a lot of trouble as the staff for Jujutsu Kaisen. They're basically quitting due to the horrible conditions. And the thing is, the horrible conditions with Mappa have been kind of well known for a bit. And yeah, I guess this was just kind of the final breaking point. The employees were like, "We're done with the studio." Japan already has kind of like infamous working conditions, so I can't imagine what shit they must have been doing. And there's been ruminations of a animators union starting in Japan. And speaking of strikes, apparently the SAG strikes did not really get a great deal in regards to AI. It still allows for AI to take jobs and recreate you after death. But yeah, this can eliminate background actors, limit actors, and it will overall kind of not be great. So
Think they're getting another strike afterwards?
I don't know if the strike is getting finalized or not. Because a strike really can't happen if the unions agree to it. So I don't know if the final votes happened yet. So they might not agree to it, but yeah, we will see. But yeah, those were the news in regards to I guess studio nonsense.
All right, so yes, we got a teaser. We got a teaser for the upcoming CGI Garfield movie, and watching it made me realize something. You know who I think would be an excellent choice for Garfield?
Who?
Stephen Wright.
That was the name I was thinking of. That's really funny. I was thinking about that exact name
What has
too.
he done before?
Stephen Wright he has this very monotone voice, you know, the guy, the comedian who talks like this.
Yeah, he's just like a comedian. He's been in like, some Louis C.K. shows, stand up. He's just had like bit appearances in different TV shows
Let me
and
put it
stuff.
let me put it this way. Bear with me, this is the best reference I can do. He voiced the dad emoji in the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, he voiced the meh emoji. He was Bob and Babe too, Pig in the City.
He's known for his very dry delivery. I think that would be an excellent Garfield choice because you know Garfield's lazy. But the trailer itself looks all right.
I don't know if I'm gonna
I'm
watch it.
I'm not
The
too
movie, I
enthused
mean.
just because like I don't think it really feels like Garfield to me because like I felt like the animation like and the writing kind of made like Garfield like really upbeat and then like Pratt's voice fits a more upbeat Garfield, but like Garfield to me is like much more dry, sardonic, and like
That's why I said
arrogant and
Stephen Wright should
lazy.
be doing it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about the trailer now. And
I
like
know.
I just don't think Garfield in the trailer feels like Garfield to me. Stephen Wright should play Droopy. Stephen Wright be like, you know what? I'm happy.
I'm
But
very
yeah,
happy right now.
yeah, it's
For some reason in
like
my mind, I was thinking maybe Ben Stein could also be a good Garfield.
you probably could, yeah. Yeah, the Garfield thing is just I don't know. We're following his dad or something. It was like a lot of these movies kind of follow about dads for some reason.
His dad is voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, which is odd.
Yeah.
That's like an odd choice. That's Garfield's dad is Samuel L. Jackson. That doesn't sound right.
It might be too early to say this, but this might be another rare case where he doesn't call someone a motherfucker.
they might do like some like mother something. Oh, he'll say something else instead of fucker.
Bluffer.
Yeah, feels like kind of like trying to do like some sort of origin kind of thing almost with like the dad and stuff or daddy issue things. Which man, Chris Pratt does a lot of movies about daddy issues. But yeah,
Like the Mario
yeah, okay.
movie.
I will say, the one line
And
that
there's
got a
lots of
laugh
movies
out of
about
me,
eating lasagna too.
I will say,
Oh.
the one line that got a chuckle out of me was when his dad asks, "You ever jump out of a train?" and Garfield just says, "I've never jumped." Like that got a chuckle.
Yeah, I'm not too enthused. It just kind of looks like a generic kids movie to me, but with like a Garfield skin. But who knows? It might be okay. I think it would be really funny if they tried to be like really hip with the internet, like how the Bill Murray movies like they try to make Garfield hip. Make this one where they try to make him hip. Just have like 2000s cat video references. Rip off Grumpy Cat. John gets Garfield fat so we can put him on like r/chonkers or some shit. Or oh wait, give him a tragic backstory because like Hack Hollywood loves that. Like his dad like they're like, oh dad, I haven't seen you in years. Like make it a joke where like his dad abandoned him on a Monday. And that's why he hates Mondays.
That could actually work, yeah. Do they, in the original source material, did they ever explain why Garfield hates Mondays, or is that just a character
No,
quirk?
it's just a joke. It's just a
Okay.
joke. Like it's funny that a cat hates Mondays when he doesn't have a job. Like he's like, why does he hate Mondays? Never explained because that's the bit. But I don't know, like movies really like to explain like stuff that makes no sense. He's like, "What's your name?" Is like, Han.
Oh god.
What's your last name? Who's your people? Is like, I don't have a people. Han Solo. Like,
That was
god damn,
dumb.
man. God damn, man. Like, All right, Zach and Cody.
Right, so, Back to the Future Day for Disney Channel fans happened because November 16th, 2023 has came and gone. Allow me to explain. So, in the first episode, no, not the first episode, the first season of the Zack and Cody spin-off Sweet Life on Deck, there's an episode where they try to get a reservation at a restaurant, and it's so backed up that they say, "Hey, we can get you a reservation for 7:30 on November 16th, 2023." And the internet remembered this and posted all about it. Have you guys heard of this?
The meme? Yeah.
I haven't. I heard like something about a Zach and Cody table, but I just didn't look into it.
That's the context. And a bunch of people got in on this. Even Disney, the official Disney Channel social medias got in on this. And Zach and Cody themselves were pretty quiet about the situation, but they did lightly acknowledge it. On Instagram, Zach posted a screenshot on his story of a bunch of direct messages he got saying, like, your table's ready. And Cody posted a screenshot on also Instagram where it's him looking stressed out and a bunch of text saying, your table's ready, what are you gonna get? You in the mood for Italian? I don't know, it's just funny. Like I said, this is Back to the Future Day for Disney Channel kids.
All right, that's pretty cool.
It's Breen time, baby.
All right.
It was Breen time. We started breening all over the place.
Going back to the Breeniverse. So, Twisted Pair was directed, written, and produced, and starring Neil Breen himself. This movie came out in 2018. It has a budget of $7,000. So,
which is a very low budget, admittedly.
and to be fair, this was crowdfunded. He has a GoFundMe page. There's not really a whole lot interesting in terms of production. Pretty standard. He shot at a Nevada State College, which is where most of the film is taking place, even though they try to set it up as like a super high-tech office.
A lot of the film is stock footage. Which,
You'd be
Stock
surprised
footage
how
and
much
green
of it is
screen.
green screened, yeah. Like, the beginning is like almost nothing but green screen, and Neil Breen inserting himself in stock footage.
I remember we were legitimately confused, like, all right, are the people in the background not Neil Breen? Are they real, or are they part of the stock footage too?
There's like a because at one point like there was a person like from what I thought was stock footage that showed up like in the actual thing proper, and I was like, oh wait, that was actual real. So like, which I was like starting to reevaluate because like here's a weird thing: the stock footage is so clearly like higher resolution and better shot than most of it, but there was like a few moments where like the stock footage was just off, or like Neil Breen's filming was just good enough where I couldn't tell. Which I guess is props to him. I mean, I could always tell when it was green screen, but I could just never tell when like it's hard to explain.
He's making you
But
question reality.
Yes, he's a truly a visionary genius. I think it's really funny how like the opening of this film is like a Terrence Malick thing, where it's like him narrating over like stock footage. Because like arguably, like the Tree of Life kind of did a similar thing, or like not the Tree of Life, but like some Terrence Malick movies did like similar things, where like there's some artsy filmmakers that do similar stuff. So like I'm starting to like understand Breen. I'm starting to understand what artsy filmmakers he's watched, and it's like he's trying to emulate. This feels like he's trying to do like Solaris or like 2001, but like for $7,000. It was like, okay, man, I respect the ambition.
So, what is Twisted Pair about?
I have no idea, and I saw the film like over 12 hours ago.
So,
Honestly, gun to my head, I could not tell you what happens in this movie.
So
I-
I understand the twin brothers stuff, and I understand the title is like a pun on like circuitry stuff. So it's like AI and brothers, and like I think like they're abducted by aliens or something, and like the aliens like made them like
like
enhanced.
superhumans, yeah.
At one point, he talks to a lawyer or something. There, he green screens himself into some stock footage of like soldiers. I don't remember what the soldier shit was though. There,
He's like,
like there's a
I'll
lot,
help you. We'll end
like he
this together.
and at like one point he inserts in like these explosions and like moves PNGs around him, and it looks exactly like how sprite animations in like the 2000s were, like old Flash cartoons and shit, or, like old Smosh shorts. Smosh shorts are actually a better shot than this, to give him credit, but yeah. Oh, there's this like one scene where like there's this homeless dude. Neil Breen's is like, "Can I take you out?" And like Neil Breen bumps into this lady. Is like, "Can I please take you out for a drink? I'll take you for a drink." And then it was like, "Man, she was hot. I bet you money that she's gonna show up here at 8." And then he comes back at 8, and she doesn't show up. And that's the end of the scene.
He's like, well,
Like-
you tried.
It's just like such a pointless detour. Like the only thing of significance is like at one point, like the homeless dude sees some like creepy guy.
I don't know, Lugia,
There's a lab.
what is the plot of Twisted Pair? For the sake of the audience.
Boy, wouldn't you like to know? So,
I
That's
would.
the thing. We're trying to figure out what the plot is.
Well, Lugia, you're
Um,
the Breen expert. What is this movie about?
to be honest, I have to look at a wiki page in order to understand it, because there's some details that I completely forgot about or just weren't explained in the movie. Alright, so, Cade and Kale, the two brothers, we mentioned their backstory before. They were abducted by aliens. God, even explaining this is making me loopy. They have superhuman powers. Cade is trying to fight crime and create a better future, and he learns about this guy named Kuz, which one of his higher ups tells him about, and most of the movie is just him putting an end to Kuz's evil empire by infiltrating his base of operations. And there's also a fairy there for some reason. Cale, on the other hand, ain't doing so hot. He has a girlfriend who just cares about drugs and money, and they break up. And that's the end of Cale's story. We don't see him after the breakup. And speaking of relationships, Cade also is in a relationship with one girl, Alana, who we don't know the name of until near the end of the film, or if you have subtitles on. So you mentioned the scene with the homeless guy, right? And how they bumped into each other. But afterwards, what happens is that Cade stalks Alana, follows her into her home, enters, and proceeds to fight her. And then all of a sudden, they're a couple now. Now, initially, I thought because Cade was a superhuman, he somehow brainwashed her into this relationship. But according to the wiki article, it says that they've been in a relationship the whole time. What? So you're telling me
banter earlier?
You're telling me they had that whole interaction near the homeless guy for no fucking reason. They just pretended they didn't know each other. For what gain?
Was that meant to be like a flashback or something? I don't know.
I don't think so. Because he follows her immediately afterwards. And what... Breen, I need to understand your vision here. I like you. But you're a little too high level for me. Okay. I don't know. What did you guys think of that?
I was so confused. Like, since it was the pair, I thought, like, wait, so, like, was that, like, the brother or some shit? But, like, no, it's just the same guy. And I was like, I was so confused. I could not follow
The
anything.
way that you can tell which one's different is because of the facial hair.
Yeah, but, like, in the opening shot of the movie, they didn't have facial hair. Like, I don't think they established the facial hair stuff at that point. That was established, like, after this.
They don't really interact much on screen. Well, I say interact. It's just Neil Breen again, green screening himself. They do have this one moment where it's kind of like a Sonic Adventure 2 moment where it's like, you're Cale. No, I'm not. Faker. Although, he is making a sequel to this movie. He did make a sequel to this movie, but I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah,
so, and
Cade
it's...
Altair will return.
Yeah.
It comes out... It actually did come out, but it hasn't come out, like...
It's not available.
Unreleased. It just had its, like, premiere at, let's see... a film festival and Alamo Drafthouse, but I don't think it's out for like purchase yet.
So he says Cade will return, but what about Cale? Because his arc just kind of went nowhere.
He's done.
Yeah, he's just done. No more.
He's done. We're
done with the twisted pair. It's just Cade now.
Yeah, I guess
twisted the sequel one now.
The sequel is called Cade: The Tortured Crossing, so it's not about.
But what is the crossing?
You know, it's not a pair. I don't know.
Crossing paths with somebody else now. He's crossing paths with Breen.
I like how slow the editing and fading effects are, because like there's like so many shots where it'll just like hold for like a really long time, or like they'll fade a character out, but they will just slowly fade it out like the entire thing, and that's my favorite.
There's like one scene in particular where they're in the college and Kuz and Cade are talking, and then when they're like having that argument, like, I'm putting your empire to an end, Cade gets up and runs at him, then the movie freeze frames right there and cross dissolves Kuz out for like 5 seconds, and then it just cuts back to Cale running at him. He's like, what happened?
For context, we watched this together via Discord, via screen sharing, and there were several instances, especially in the beginning, where I was like, is the stream buffering, or is it like the Discord connection bad? And You explained to me, no, that's just the way that the movie
Yeah.
is. But let's be real here. You're not watching a Neil Breen film to get invested in the story. You're watching it to see what Neil Breen does, what comes out of his mind. And on that level, what do we think?
I think this is
It's
his
okay.
most ambitious work.
Possibly his
Story-wise,
masterpiece. No.
I don't know. Part of me
I feel
prefers
like this
Fateful
movie.
Findings to this from a
No,
narrative perspective, because at least
yeah, no.
there
I
it
like
feels
Fateful
like,
Findings more.
yeah, at least there it feels like he had more going on as a writer. Like he had this vision for what these characters were supposed to do, or what the
I feel like
faithful encounters were supposed to be. Whereas here,
I
he's
feel like this movie is more fun, like if you put it on like 1.5 speed or something instead of the full thing.
yeah,
That's my
here
take.
it feels like plot threads go nowhere. There's a lot of background information that doesn't really get elaborated upon, nor does it really matter. Which maybe that's what the sequel's for. I don't know. I haven't seen Cade Tortured Crossings yet.
I feel like this movie, like you said, Red, I feel like this movie moves way too slowly. And yeah, I prefer Fateful Findings to this because I feel like Fateful Findings was more consistently entertaining. Whereas this, there were a lot of points where I'm just like, this is really dragging. And like nothing interesting is happening.
I think Fateful Findings also had less screen in it.
It did.
Actually, for a point of comparison, too, both movies had a mirror scene where like something different would appear on the other side of the mirror. I felt like that effect was more impressive in Fateful Findings, whereas with Twisted Pair, they cross dissolve into Kale being on the other side of the mirror, not Cade, which is nowhere near as impressive as what he did before. Where Neil
You fell
Breen
off,
left the
Breen.
scene, but the reflection was still there.
You fell off, Breen. Hack, fraud. No, I'm kidding. We still love you.
And something else, I think I might have pointed this out in the Fateful Findings episode, but he likes to reuse shots whenever applicable. And Neil Breen, I like you. Don't do that. That just makes the movie more monotonous.
Didn't you say in one of his movies he basically plays the whole thing twice?
Yes, that was his second movie,
Which,
I Am Here Now.
let me ask you a serious question. Is it anything like One Cut of the Dead where it really expands upon the experience and
No.
really opens your eyes? Okay, that's what I
No,
thought.
he is just reusing shots, albeit with slightly different context, but it's not enough to justify the reuse. And there's a
Mhm.
point where it feels like you're just watching the movie in reverse because he put the shots in that type of sequence.
Speaking of watching the movie, this movie starts and around like 10 minutes left, it ends with Neil Breen in a quote unquote movie theater. And that just made us question, was this all just a movie he was watching?
Because the movie, quote unquote, ends, and he's going back with Alana, and they're just having their happy relationship, and it's like, what? So that happens. And then afterwards, it's revealed that Alana is working with Kuz, and it's like, oh, I have to kill you, honey. I'm sorry. So, like, what was the point of him being in the movie theater?
Got me there. I
Listen,
don't know.
I'm just as confused as you are. And I've seen this movie like 3 times.
Also, to go back to the villain, they put this weird filter over his voice to make him sound much deeper. And every time he talked, it sounded like the Trivia Murder Party announcement from Jackbox.
Yeah.
So I was just waiting for him to ask me a trivia question
What do
the
you
entire
think he would
time.
ask?
I don't know.
It's like, who is your true savior?
Who is your true savior?
When did
Who
Neil
are you?
Breen's
Jackbox.
film Pass Through come out? What year?
If you fail, you become assimilated into the Breen hive mind.
You get sent to the trash bag room from Fateful Findings.
Speaking of well, not trash bag room, but I guess something similar in terms of tone. There is still like political commentary in this movie, and where Kale kidnaps a banker, a lawyer, and someone else. I feel like he has this in almost all of his movies. It was in Fateful Findings near the end where he's giving on the speech, and then like the banker and whatnot, they're like, oh, he found us out. I better kill myself. Whereas here, he just kidnaps them and leaves them in a room to starve and die. And then there's this one effect where they cross dissolve into more copy pasted assets of those characters, one of which is layered right in front of the other. Do you think he knows what he's doing with that, or is he trying to give the movie more substance than it really needs?
I don't think he knows. I think
He
it's
doesn't?
him trying to be doing substance and failing. Yeah.
And I know we briefly brought this up. I'm going to bring it up again. What was the significance of the fairy? The fairy with the spiky heels that appears in 2 scenes?
Well, here's the thing about that, Patrick, because at the end the fairy dissolves out of nowhere and her heels are full of gems, the same gems that Kuz has. And in the next scene, the gems are bloody and Kuz has a bloody hand.
So is Kuz the fairy as well?
I don't know.
Because he was in the same scene as the fairy when the fairy first showed up. He was talking to the fairy. Is the fairy a clone of him? Is that another twisted pair? Is Kuz also a twisted pair?
It's a theme of duality.
The fairy is Kaz.
So there's like the 3 cats on Kuz's desk that just like rotate every now and then. Is that like supposed to be some sort of code?
That man's mind is an enigma. He needs to do like some retrospective where he talks about all of his films and what they mean.
He did. It's called the 5-film retrospective.
Oh.
What is it? Is it like a commentary over his films, or is it just an interview?
A little bit of
Like a
both, I
documentary.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a documentary. Yeah. Okay, well, I will watch that one day, I guess.
Do we have anything else we want to say, or are we done
I'll be
diving into
honest,
the mind of Neil
I'll
Breen?
I
be
think
hon-
I'm tapped out. I think I'm
Yeah,
tapped
me
out.
too.
Yeah.
Out of all the movies we've talked about, I think this is the one where we have the most questions and very few answers. I mean, not even Neil Breen himself. Lugia, you told me not even Neil Breen himself knows exactly what the meaning is, right?
Yeah, most of his movies, especially this one, reek of what I like to call writer's bluff, where he'll have like an object that's supposed to represent something, symbolize something else going on in the movie, or maybe some other theme. And in an interview, when asked about like what the skull meant in Fateful Findings near the beginning, he's like, "Well, that's for you to figure out. I shouldn't be the one to tell you like what these are supposed to represent for you," which tells me, yeah, he didn't know either.
Well, there is a skull in the beginning of this movie too. Is there skulls in the beginning of all of his movies?
I don't think so.
Have you seen every movie he's made?
No, I've only seen 3 of them. This one, Fateful Findings, and I Am Here Now. I will get around to the
I Am Here
others.
Now.
Yeah, that's right.
You gotta have that pause. You gotta have it.
There were like baby heads in the desert, and I Am Here Now. I don't know what those are supposed to represent. Keep in mind that is a movie.
Dolls?
Yeah, they're like doll baby heads, just in the desert for no reason. This is the movie where he's alien cyborg Jesus. So make of that what you will, but I don't really know what these are supposed to represent, and I don't think he knows either. I think they're there to make the film more mysterious than it really is. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Twisted Pair is a great movie to watch with friends, favorably when you're drunk. Because if you try to critique this,
but I was very tired.
We were not. We were sober and tired. So,
well, tired is kind of substancy. But yeah. Anyway, I'd recommend putting it on like 1.5 speed, or not. I don't know. I feel like it's funnier if you like put it on fast forward, but it's okay. Not as good as Fateful Findings. So far, of the 3 you've seen, Lugia, which one's your favorite?
Fateful Findings, easily. I Am Here Now is the worst one. I actively do not like that movie.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, because it reuses like the whole movie twice.
So I assume we're not going to get to that one?
Not anytime soon.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I believe it's my turn now, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So by the time we get back for our next episode, it'll be the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So I do believe that calls for us to get into the holiday recommendations, right?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, stores had already playing Christmas music, so what's stopping us from recommending Christmas movies?
True, and Christmas movies come out in November. Heck, sometimes they come out the first Friday of November. I'd say it's about time. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a choice. I don't like doing this often, but I am torn between these two movies, all right? All right. One is Gremlins. Don't fight me. It is absolutely a Christmas movie. And two is Arthur Christmas.
I'm gonna go with Arthur Christmas.
I'm gonna go Gremlins because that's not a movie I revisit a lot.
All right, we're stuck at a roadblock here.
Do we flip a coin? Or are you the tiebreaker?
I do have a coin on my desk. Well, here, let me ask. Lugia, have you seen Arthur Christmas?
No. I
Have you
have,
seen
however,
Gremlins?
I've seen Gremlins 2.
Well, here's the thing. If we do Gremlins, I'm only making it the first one. I'm not making it a double feature because Gremlins 2 is not a Christmas movie from my understanding. Damn, I don't know.
Flip a coin. See what you get.
Okay. All right, we've never actually done a coin toss for one of these, so yeah, all right. Okay, heads, it's Arthur Christmas. Tails, it's Gremlins, all right?
Alright.
Tails. Gremlins it is.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes. And I said, yes, Gremlins is a Christmas movie. No objections, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I haven't seen it, so...
It takes place on Christmas. I say it's a Christmas movie.
And the main gremlin is a Christmas gift, so...
And it has like a
Yeah,
lot of commentary
I'd
on like
say.
it has a lot of commentary on Christmas consumerism and stuff. So yeah, I'd say
Mhm.
it's Christmas.
All right, yes, we're getting to the holiday spirit.
Yes, even though we're still kind of this could also work as a Halloween movie. So you know what, that fits for November. Oh well.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Anyway, cool.
Our
Gremlins by
first
Joe
coin toss.
Dante. What?
I said, our first coin toss.
120 episodes in.
Indeed.
Yeah, cool. Talking about Joe Dante, just kind of funny because we opened this talking about the Wile E. Coyote thing, which is very clearly trying to be Looney Tunes back in action too. So nice.
All right. So you got a closer for us?
Everyone has the right to be loved. Everyone has the right to love. I'll be right here.